Another question of importance is whether world peace can be achieved or not. With sincerely made efforts by the peace-loving people from every corner of the globe, it can be achieved. When I declare, even if I am declaring it with utmost honesty, the world peace is achievable, I will not be surprised to hear from the people, what do you think you are, what your earlier achievements are. When a person comes out and makes such a statement of achieving something big, I don't know why. He must be prepared to answer such wide of the mark questions. I always come from the idea that one should not attach any importance to these wide of the mark questions. I have no intention of evading these questions, and I feel I'll be less than honest if I fail to mention what I think of myself as an ordinary person, having achieved nothing remarkable so far, having no great credentials in my name. May I know the reason why people tend to have such questions in their mind? Knowing only this much about me, how can anyone tell what I am declaring hereby is achievable or not? May I begin by saying that I found the arithmetic of asking such questions related to the identity of a person in order to judge his ability to perform a task a little confusing, as merely identity and previous achievements of a person does not provide the surety whether he is capable of doing a task or not. We tend to be influenced by the names carrying more weightage and make biased decisions in their favor. Before I go any further, let me explain how the tendency of asking these personal questions related to the identity and the past achievements of a person in order to judge his capability are the major stumbling block on the way of progress of almost every democratic country. It also leads in the seizure of innovative initiatives, as the person really capable of doing something, some great task, can prove their worth to the world, may not necessarily have the remarkable past achievement. We declare, come deceive us. We are ready to be deceived by asking such questions, as we clearly show our readiness of being influenced by the identity of a person. It is no wonder then why the big guns, when fails to fire in their own period, try their luck to be on the political radar. The tendency of us to get carried away by the face value of a person is well exploited by them to secure the powerful positions and privileges attached to it. Suppose we elect a person merely on the basis of his name and his fame. Our goal is to make his name more admirable and increase his achievements, which are achieved when he wins. Because the moment he gets elected, it adds more value to their name and also increases the length of the list of their achievements. This is the reason why actor-turned politicians, singer-turned politicians, cricketer-turned politicians, so on exist, and treats parliament nothing more than their old age restaurant and enjoy the benefits attached to it without any work. When we vote merely on the basis of the identity, we are not even clear of what the person is supposed to do after get elected. Thus we are forming an expectation that he will do some unknown good which we don't know and which he does not know himself, but is expected to do for us. Before criticizing the elected leaders of doing nothing for us, we must hold ourselves more responsible for electing such leaders without any reason. Then there is another category of leaders who places more element by falsely making us believe that they can solve some long-held issues just on the basis that they have achieved something different in a different field. It doesn't matter. They themselves are not convinced of by applying what measures they can solve it. If you fail to ask these leaders, how will you? We are forming an expectation which is destined to result in unrealistic expectations right from the inception. In this case also, if these leaders are elected and fail to perform, we are more to be blamed, as we don't bother to assess the accuracy of their claims. It is no surprise then when we can make a long list of elected leaders incapable of doing any developmental work, as they got elected merely on the basis of their past achievements, not the capability. The biggest testimony to the fact of forming unrealistic expectations is the most revolutionary election of this decade, none other than the election of Barack Obama as the President of the United States of America. He offered to the people a hope for a change and peace. In return, the peace-loving people honored him by voting him to the most powerful position of the President of America. It is said, so far he doesn't seem to have done justice to those peace-loving people who brought him to the office, which makes him more vulnerable to critics. But as a matter of fact, everyone who supported him, yes, we can campaign, and without asking him first what we can and how we can, is to be blamed. I have no idea what personal achievements of him influence people in believing more readily that he can establish world peace. All those influences hardly make any sense in believing that he is capable of achieving the world peace. It came as no surprise to me that he got the chance, but he failed to impress, as he himself never declared that he has any vision to do so. May I venture to say, I just refuse to believe that he has even the slightest reason for gaining the global peace. It is a challenge for him to make a public display of how we can achieve global peace. I will be delighted and take the biggest sigh of relief if he can do so and achieve the world peace on his own. What is at issue here for me is not by whom it is done, but what is more important for me is the stuff of global peace done. My want is simple. I want peace. Give me peace and I ask no more. To be fair, to be frank, I just consider myself fortunate enough to know how to achieve the world peace, and never consider myself more intelligent than anyone else. I see no reason for anyone falling prey to the temptation of power and pride in asking me and knowing the way to the world peace. I hope with the real kindness of his heart that he will give attention to my request to ask me how to achieve it. I'll be more than eager to let anyone know how to achieve global peace who really wants to know. What we people choose to ignore is a far more important question. But how will you do it when someone claims to do something? Do you not yourself think how a person wants to do a task must be known to us people before we pass our judgment? Do you not yourself think it is more than enough to know how will you do it, to form an opinion about the capability of a person regarding a task? In asking a person, how will you, we trust ourselves as it allows us to access his words and will be better positioned to judge more accurately. We will have no cause of regret later as we will favor only after applying our mind, not the emotion. If we place more emphasis on knowing the personal identity or the previous achievements of a person in judging his capability for a future task, we are more readily inviting the deception and are more vulnerable to fall prey to the unrealistic expectations by those who want to secure a powerful position. It gives the impression that we ought to be prepared to be deceived by forming unrealistic expectations as long as we are not in support of asking first what we can and how we can, then readily believing in yes we can. We should immediately be stopped to judge the capability of a person by their claims on the basis of his past achievements or by their face value. I just consider myself fortunate enough to know how to establish the world peace. Global peace is a desire stored in the body and the mind of a countless individuals. Global peace is a desire which is widely seen as admirable desire but incapable of accomplishment. It is a desire that many generations dreamed to achieve, and I firmly believe that this generation can make this dream come true. But for this to happen, you must feel a sense of great pride in asking me, but how you can do this? I don't want you people to respond with affection. What I want in order to make it a real success is your wife. Just pause to ask me, but how we can do it. I'll be more than delighted and I'll be more than ready to let everyone know how to achieve the global peace. I want everyone to have a chance to weigh up my vision regarding how to achieve the world peace, both logically and critically. Only then you will be in position to tell whether it is achievable or not. I am addressing this appeal to every peace-loving people, every peace-loving community, and every peace-loving organization, irrespective of their religious, racial, lingual, individual identity, to register their willingness or readiness by asking me how to achieve it, and by taking part in Pass It Forward movement. Pass this message to your friends and beloved ones. I am provided with the rarest opportunity to show the way to achieve global peace to everyone longing for peace. I am addressing this appeal to every peace-loving people to take part in Forward This Message movement. Just forward this message to everyone you know and mail me the mail address of everyone you know so that I can inform you as well as everybody around you how to gain it. The more number of people know how to achieve the global peace, the better is the chances of getting it done faster. It will be a great sense of pride for this generation if we succeed in achieving the world peace, which we surely will if all goes well. We can create a destiny. We can enroll this generation as a generation for peace in the history. Come my friends, let us be honest. We all want to break the different man-made shackles we are burdened with. We all want peace. You are in for peace or not, that is for you to decide. Thank you.